Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and welcome to the finale of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, Taskmaster Edition, the third season. For the last 4 weeks, Brother Monroe, Stealth 17, Spartan Elite 43 and myself have been battling it out in design challenges in this little game over here. And today it's going to be decided who is actually going to claim the title of Taskmaster for this season. So it's going to be very exciting. As usual, let's look at the scores where we stand, let's design a ship, and then let's ultimately battle it out. So, firstly, where do we stand? Now, last week was not a good week for two of our competitors. Both Stealth 17 and Spartan Elite 43 were sunk in their tasks, so they only scored 1 point each, due to the fact that they, I think, did design a ship with a certain speed limit, but ultimately very unfortunate for them, especially for Spartan Elite 43, who had been the front runner for our task, but unfortunately he did a bit of a kerfuffle. He did actually put in another enemy battlecruiser, which he didn't need to fight, and which ultimately did end up sinking him. So that was extremely unfortunate, and I do feel really bad for that. But it does mean that he's now only standing at 1 point for that week, and that did put him a little bit in a bind, and did cost him quite a couple of points. Not all is lost for him, not all is lost, especially for Brother Monroe, who did do fairly well last week. 3 points, that's not entirely true. He did also earn a bonus point for causing an enemy to explode and sink. So that's 15 points in total for him. We do, on the other hand, stand at 18. So we got a solid lead here, but it's not gonna be decisive. We do need to make sure that we win this task, and we do need to make sure that we do win it with certain things. But we have a couple of things going for us. One of them is, so far we haven't suffered a torpedo hit. If we can keep that up, we're gonna get a bonus point. So far we haven't suffered critical persistent damage in any of our battles, so if that persists, we're gonna get 2 bonus points. And if we do win without getting our ship sunk, we're also gonna get a bonus point. Although, it has to be said, Brother Monroe is also still eligible for that. So ultimately, we are going in with the advantage. We just must not blunder it. I think if we can win this battle, so just let me get through the task here. Of course, this week we are going to go design a battleship. Certain requirements, I'm going to get to that later. But the points that we can score is 1 for designing ship with 27 knots. That's easy. That's a guaranteed point. Everything else will depend on what we can do. So that is winning the battle, that's a point, winning the battle without critical damage, winning the battle with the cheapest ship, and having the most structural integrity remaining after the battle. There are also, of course, still more points to be earned by causing enemy ships to explode. So Brother Monroe could score 5 points this week if he does design a cheap ship and withstands the battle. He would be earning a bonus point, so he can get 6 points for that, and theoretically, he can cause up to 4 ships to explode. So there are still 10 points to be grabbed, and we only have a 3 point lead. That's for him. On the other hand, if we do win, we're gonna get, we're gonna get 1 point anyway for the 27 knots. If we do win, we're gonna get at least 2 points for surviving, and 1 point and 2 points here. So we could get 3 points relatively easily if only we survive. I don't think that's enough. If we do get 3 points and he gets 6 points, we would be pretty much on par. He only needs to cause 1 explosion, and he's often, I've seen him cause so many explosions on enemy ships. I don't know what he does to cause that, but he's likely to get a point. I'm gonna bet that he's gonna earn a point here, so it will not be enough for us to simply win and survive this battle. I think we do need to win and survive this battle, and either not get torpedoed, or preferably even not get any critical damage. So there's that. Right, let's take a look at the task itself. So this week we're going to be playing the Germans, of course, as always, 1926, 30,000 meter range, and we're going to go against the Empire of Japan. This is the first time we do not have a technological advantage, and we're going to go up against a battleship and some light ships. There are certain design requirements. Let's go into that. So what have we got over here? One of the design requirements is that we must use medium range, that we have to use some radio, that we can only go up to 38,000 tons, and that does already mean that we can only, we probably want to pick the Dreadnought 3 hull, Hull form is pretty much the same. Stability is a little bit better. Resistance is a little bit better, and I actually do like that a lot. So yeah, we are going to use Ultimate Admiral, sorry, Dreadnought 3 hull here, 38,000 tons. Come on. This is the only number sort of in this game that you can't type in, which is annoying because sometimes you really just want to eke out a couple of tons. Okay, that's going to be it. So that's 38,000 tons. And you know, because we're designing this for the Dutch Navy allegedly, how would the Dutch Navy call the battleship even? I don't know. I do not know. You know what? We might call it Nassau, because I think there is a German and a Dutch thing that would be called Nassau. So let's do it like that. At 27 knots, that's easy to implement at least. So that's going to be 1 point. Range medium, that we can do. And we need to talk... Ooh, there's a lot of main towers to consider. Let's just plop down one for now and use the advanced radio. And I think even if we remove that and pick something else here, the advanced radio is going to stay. So that's good, that's locked in, that's a design requirement. And I really wouldn't want to undo that accidentally. We can only use up to 16 inches of guns, which is pretty much the maximum that we can do anyway. Well, we could go 17, but these are Mark 1s, these are Mark 2s. Huh, that's interesting. Do we even want to use 16-inch guns, or do we maybe want to use something slightly smaller? Let's take a look at around, 12,500 meters. That's a decent range to be fighting at. Look at that, they have actually pretty much the same penetration power. And these guns are actually much more accurate. They're not going to be causing that much damage, granted. But then again, they are lighter and stuff, so I think we're actually going to use 15-inch guns. Okay, that sounds good. Right, so let's get actually into the design here. I think many bulkheads are going to be good. And then let's see. So, which tower are we going to use? Base accuracy plus 7, 10, 12, 14, 16. This would be a lot to compare throughout. Well, it does seem to go... I've very little idea of which of these things could be useful. I do like the idea of using a Barbette immediately. I noticed that these guys are much cheaper. Well, you don't have the Barbette, but then again, how much is a Barbette? It's like 300 tons, and the difference here is not so great. They are much more expensive, but here's the thing, I do not really expect that we are going to be running out of... I do not expect that we are going to try to go for the cheapest ship. This is just not... Strategically, this is just not what we need to do. So let's go with the tall tower here first. We might want to upgrade that later. Let's keep that in mind. Oh, there's also a lot more here to consider in the rear tower. Now, these guys are huge, but they probably have a Barbette there. Yeah, but a rear Barbette, I don't think that's going to be that useful. What's the difference here? It's only 140 tons. Yeah, I think the tonnage requirement here is going to be... We want to keep as much tonnage here as possible for potential usage in armor. Not sure about that. Small funnel? Yeah, you can fit there. So, let's talk about funnels. Come on, get away. Huh? Why can't I unselect that? That's weird, okay. Anyway, 15% engine efficiency down there, so let's go to induced. That's going to be 30%. Since we do not really care about money, let's do everything that decreases weight so that we have more weight available for armor schemes. That being said, I think auxiliary engines, they do increase weight, but they do give us much better turning rates, all of that, turret reverse speed. I think that's a good idea, simply to keep our chances of not hitting any torpedoes pretty much up the scale. Okay, so that is only going to give us a third of the power that we do need. How about we look at something that has twice that much? So your funnel capacity is more than twice as much actually, so you're more efficient in doing that. How about... Yeah, that is... These guys are much more efficient, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Huh. Wow. Wow, look at that. That is one awkward design with that overhanging chimney. That's a little bit weird. Okay, but even that works, so I'm fine with that. How about the tall funnel? Even that works. Long funnel? Oh yeah, we don't actually need. Okay, the advanced funnel is too small. Yeah, fine. Let's use this one. That's a very compact arrangement there. I like it. Okay, good. Very tiny superstructure. But all in all, I do like it. Good, let's look at the main guns then. I think we did decide on 15-inch guns, so question is, what are we going to use? I don't think we're going to use 4-inch barrels, so here's my thinking, right? So because a couple of you guys have been questioning that over the course of the episode. Let's take a look at the 3-inch barrels here, and let's take a number of the accuracy at a certain distance, let's say 2,500 meters. That's not 100% because I don't want to use 100%. That might have been maxed out. That the true number there might be 110 or so. But of course, 100 is a natural limit. So pick a number that's smaller than 100. 2,500 meters, 48%. That's cool. Let's compare this to over here. At the same distance, this has an accuracy of 35%. So effectively, that is a reduction of, let's take out my pocket calculator, of around 27%, right? So you're gonna land 27% less of the shells that you're firing on target. Granted, you have 33% more barrels, but that's almost the same. It's almost going to cause the same number of hits, but you're also going to suffer from a slightly longer reload time. I don't need to calculate that because these numbers are so close that effectively 4 in and 4 barrels are going to have the same, almost the same damage output as 3 barrels, potentially even less. But they do way more. They have more damage potential. More. What's the word that I'm looking for? Not damage potential. More weight, more costs. That's it. Right. So let's try to place more guns down here. We could go for a reverse Nelson here. Okay, these parts are badly placed anyway, so we do need to move it a little bit. That's one awkward design. Well, I think we should actually try to be a little bit more standard here. Can we use a medium bobette here? I think we could, right? Yeah. Okay, that looks more sensible, I think. Aft weight offset is a little bit higher, but if we do pull that in, should be okay. Now the only thing is this gun here cannot really fire to the front. And the other thing that I want to do is actually, we are likely to drive towards the enemy early on. So let's actually place this gun that way, so that we can do two things. A, this guarantees that it can swing around forward. So if we're facing the enemy and he's here and then we're going to turn to the right and he might be on the left, this gun can sort of track that enemy along the center line here instead of swinging around all the way. So I think this is going to be a slightly better design than the other way around. And B, that already points somewhat towards the enemy, so I think that's going to be a good idea. Right, that is nice-ish. Now, there are some light cruisers in search, so let's actually talk about Mark IV, Mark IV, Mark IV secondaries. I think 8-inch guns are probably going to be the choice of the day here. So that we have something here to engage the destroyers and the light cruisers and such, so that could be okay. Yeah, and then we can place something over here, and we are not going to place it so far to the rear that it would interfere with the enemy there. And we can actually also have it forward facing. Do we use some further guns here towards the towards the offside here? Don't think so. We might actually want to see how much weight we have got. So let's actually go ahead, increase our protection here, and flooding at least one. Questions about torpedoes. We are going to use super heavy shells. We are going to use. Now I'm gonna bet that Brother uses tube powder and hopes to cause explosions and such. But I think we're going to be better off using high power TNT. It's going to be just a generally good thing against all of our enemies, so I think that's a good idea. Are we going to use that? Or we do need to do something over here too, right? Let's go for long range or basic. Let's go long range. And then acoustics, I do want to find torpedoes as early as possible. So let's do use that. And you can see we only have 600 tons remaining. We do not have that much displacement to play around here. Do need to be somewhat careful. What else should we be using then? Now, I think we're gonna go with our trusted design in reducing the top armor and trying to be a little bit closer towards the enemy. But since the enemy does have battleships, I do want to have fairly substantial armor scheme at least. So I think this to me is the minimum. Yeah, but even that is over 1,000 tons too weighty. That is fairly significant, and I'm not entirely happy with our secondary armament yet. We've got a lot of 8-inch guns, but not enough, I think. Okay, so the casemate guns, they are 160 tons. The secondary guns here, they are 160. It's about 3 times as much. That is kind of the same efficiency. But, of course, a turret here, if it's on the center line, it can fire both directions, so it's going to be more efficient that way. Can we... So let's suppose, can I pull you forward a little bit? I can. Can I put a standard Babette? Would that fit? Yeah. Can I place this on top of that? Yeah, I can. It's more of a brother or stealth design, or Spartan design than mine, but that would make sense, right? How much did that Babette cost? 160 tons. So that's fine. That does actually is more efficient at least than the same amount of casemate guns. It's only 2 triple turrets though. This would technically work, but I'm not too excited about that. How about torpedo launches? How about torpedo launches? You know what? You know what? We might do this entire thing differently. We only have a single enemy battleship that we need to catch. What if... What if we're using 9-inch guns? Gonna use the same principles here. Ah, you can't be placed that way. Okay, you can be placed here. Okay, that does work. Same principles so far. We should put a Babette here. Let's do the smallest one. So that's a healthy gun complement there, but it's kind of small actually. That's okay though. Then we're gonna use some... I like that idea. Then we're gonna use torpedoes to actually catch the enemy battleship. Place you somewhere over here along the center line. It must be enough torpedo tubes to actually sink an enemy battleship. Let's do place them in a way that allows us to fire them off very selectively. Can I not place them anywhere here? No? Just there? No, that's too far out. That should give us a healthy spread, right? We're going to use fast torpedoes and we're going to use pretty heavy torpedoes too. And I think that does give us a lot more weight. I like that. How about secondary guns? How about smaller secondary guns? Can we place them somewhere in the superstructure? No? Maybe on the 2-inch guns? Yeah, 2-inch guns we can place some. That's about it. Okay. They're only going to be useful, marginally going to be useful against the destroyers anyway. But I think that's a good idea. That does give us a lot of weight to play around with. We're going to use increased torpedo loadout because we are now super reliant on actually hitting them. We're going to use enhanced firing rates though. Oh, can you not fire to the front? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, we do need just slightly larger but Batman. Are you actually better? Yeah, you seem to be now able to fire to the front. There, yeah. Yeah, you are. Good. Okay. I think for this task, this is a much better design. Do we want to use other secondary guns here? Somewhere to the side, somewhere to the offside. No, but we can place potentially another standard Babette here. To actually get some 6-inch guns, let's say. I think they're sufficiently different in caliber. Although that's a little bit... Not entirely sure whether that does make a lot of sense. Right, I like that idea though. It's a small gunned, but we're gonna have a lot of place here to put on armor, and I think that is gonna be the better choice, because we do need to make sure that we're not gonna be shafted by the enemy. I like that idea. It's not a cheap ship at all, but it does need to be. Increased standard, large torpedoes, suitable to sink an enemy battleship, enhanced reloading, good hydro here. We can actually dial that up a little bit, potentially to sonar. Oh, that really the weight is not increasing that much. Okay, so let's use sonar too, so that we've got good advanced knowledge there of them coming in. We actually do not need that much of conning tower armor, because the conning tower is not going to be that central to sinking the enemy battleship. Still, we don't want to be exploded away here, so let's use that. Let's use 30 inches of armor here. 25 maybe? No, that's too much. Okay, 22.5. 22.5 and 27.5. So this is going to be a huge torpedo boat, basically. It's an interesting concept. You know what? I do like this playing this with a slightly weirdo design. So this is completely up my alley. It's not a meme ship, mind you, but it's close. It's close. I like it. Good. Okay. So design phase is taking way too long here. Sorry for the redesign, but yeah, I didn't want to cut it out either. I shouldn't. Turret traverse speed. Well, if we're going to go up against destroyers, that might actually not be a bad idea. We're mostly going to use our guns against them, so I think that is good. Right, you're mostly facing off to the side. Do we not have any torpedoes that are firing really to the front here? Maybe if we pull you out a little bit more, you can fire further to the front? No, you can't. You can't. We got a bit of an aft offset too, so we might want to pull you a little bit to the front. No reason to keep that going. Do we want to use another super heavy, super firing one? By the way, notice how the captain here can't see anything because of that secondary tower that's actually right in front of him. So that is to me that's kind of funny. Right, what we could potentially do though is pull you back a little bit actually, and then maybe take one of these torpedoes and place them right there in the center. And somehow induced a great starboard offset. That's here, right? Yeah, okay. It's actually not that... It's a bit elegant, I would say. Right, that's cool. Pull you up a little bit to the front. Just a tiny bit. No, not possible at all. Okay, fine. Yeah, can't do much about the aft offset here. We can place you a little bit to the front. Although your firing arc here is getting too annoying, so I dislike that. Okay, you know what, guys? That is probably it in terms of the... Oh, we do need to dial it down a little bit, right? So, 22, 27? Is that it? No. Okay, deck armor. Yeah. Don't underestimate how much deck armor weighs. That's a huge, huge cost factor and weight factor. And I do see some of the other guys ignoring it in their videos, which I think there's no reason for that. Okay, that being said, I think we are ready to launch. Let's go. Oh my, 25 minutes just of designing this. I don't want to cut out anything. It's been a design process. But yeah. So our target is going to be to fire most of our guns at the lighter ships, hopefully get them rid of any torpedoes. Hope that the enemy battleship doesn't do too much against us. We are probably going to need to stay sort of out of its range for a while. But yeah, then our oversized torpedo boat is going to come in and launch its torpedoes at the enemy then and there. Right, we can use high explosive shells, I think, on the enemy lighter ships. So let's do that. Not sure whether the audio was on for you. But yeah, notice how our guns here are forward facing already, which I really, really do like. Our turning circle, we haven't even looked at that, but it's kind of bad, especially given the speed. But one of the interesting things is, you know, Stealth, for example, he really dislikes high speed because it does increase the turning circle, and that does make it more difficult to dodge torpedoes. And that's true in the stricter sense, but it's also, I think, not entirely true, because what it also does is it also means that the intercept point for enemy torpedoes is going to be much further away from you, because by the time that they reach you, you've traveled a much higher distance. So I think that's actually slightly better. Right, let's take a look here. So they are on fire. Interesting. We did score a hit or some hits already. Jesus, look at that. What have they got, actually? So they have got 14-inch guns? Well, I guess that could be worse, but 18 of them. How many? Look at that porcupine ship. Look at all of these secondaries. Look at all of these secondaries and all of these sort of semi-receded 2-inch guns, I guess. Jesus, they've got 28-inch guns. They've got 24 8-inch guns. Oh, that might be bad for us. What a particular design this is. That might be bad for us because obviously they're going to be at a close range. They are going to be devastating, I guess, at least. We don't know anything about your chances to penetrate, do we? Now, the next question is, do you have any torpedoes? I can't see any indication that you would. So that at least is good. That will allow us to come in close without worrying too much that we're going to be torped. We do need to come in close still, so to avoid superstructure hits, but let's see about that. Let's also remember one of the points that we can get is for high damage to the main tower there. That is lovely. We should wiggle around a little bit, make it a little bit harder to hit us. The big other question is, how fast are they going to be? Can we actually catch them? 27 knots is not actually that fast for a battleship. It's not great, but it's not bad, not great, not terrible, not great. How does the saying go? Ooh, destroy torpedo. Well, that's a centerline torpedo there. That's okay. That was more or less of a backup to ensure that we've got enough space anyway, or enough reloads. Damage to the secondary tower. Yeah, they are causing a lot of damage here with their 8-inch guns because they've got so freaking many. Right, we are now getting closer, and the good thing is our aspect ratio. It's a little bit perverse, but in this game you really want them to be crossing your T. Let's actually make sure that they're on the right of our center line so that this tower here doesn't do stupid things. Oh no, it can also turn to the front. That's great. That's huge, actually. That's more important than you would think. Having a tower that is constantly in action is just so much better than one that isn't. Right, we actually did cause a fairly substantial amount of damage already. Curiously enough. I mean, fairly substantial. It's not going to sink him or anything. But it is nice to see that actually even our 9-inch guns are doing some damage. This must be the light cruiser, this little patch of dark there, which we haven't spotted at all, which I kind of dislike, because he might have already launched torpedoes. We should see them fairly early, but I'm not sure. Oh, we already lost 5% too. That's not great. But again, the most important thing is not suffering any critical damage. Right, enemy light cruiser. Of course you've got torpedoes, and of course you have them in a setup that I really hate. Because these guys are going to be able to fire off to the side, but some of them also will have a firing arc to the other side, so you might actually be able to launch them very, very often. That's not good. What's your range? Your range is, we are well within range. That does mean you will probably already have fired. Do we think so? Okay, you know what? Let's do a turn to the right, and then we're going to immediately do a turn to the left, because I think to the... Oh, look at that. There are also some destroyers here. Right, what have you guys got? You also have an ungodly amount of torpedoes, so you know what? Let's actually use our main guns on this guy, and then secondary guns on that one. They're going to start emitting smoke now that they are uncovered too. Or do they? Well, for now they don't, so let's actually completely fire on him. Okay, let's turn away here completely, hoping to throw any torpedoes off the target. You also have a 12.6 kilometer range. That seems to indicate to me that you've got normal torpedoes as opposed to what I'm looking for, fast running torpedoes, I guess. More main tower damage. Oh, there we go. That's the first of their salvo. We are spotting them at a great distance here. But I think we are on a good course. We might go a little bit to the right here. Let's actually turn back in, because I want to be facing towards the battleship there. If we are presenting our broadside like that, that is generally not good. Right, another destroyer up over there. .9, 3.8, seems to be about the same. Okay, you are starting to emit smoke. Okay, let's shift our fire on the light cruiser then. Nice. Nice, very good hit there. Some flooding too. Okay, we actually know something about the enemy battleship here, so let's do check you. You are extremely slow. Wow, we are lucky. And you've got few bulkheads. We are incredibly lucky. Because that means you, and you've got anti-torpedo 1, but that's it. These receded things were 4-inch guns. You've got a lot of shells though. That's not nice. We're down to 93%, they're down to 89%. Right, let's see whether we can hit the light cruiser. That would be really a godsend. How many destroyers did they have? 2? I think they had 2, right? So that's the only two destroyers that they had. We did not know who actually launched these torpedoes at us earlier. Well, we know you guys are way off target, so that's nice. We're seeing that they do not get any notifications here about them running out of torpedoes, so they must have multiple reloads. Which, especially on the light cruiser, would be extremely annoying, because he's going to be able to fire all the time. You guys are aimed to where we are, but once you are here, you will not be, so I think we're going to be alright there. Unless it's a super wide spread. You know what, let's actually turn off a little bit. I think we're going to be alright here, but we never know. And they're not fast running torpedoes, so I don't know how fast they actually are. Ours are fast running, and they're 60 knots, so I'm thinking 48 knots. So about twice as fast as we are. More flooding there, that's huge. If that guy could go down, please, that would be much welcomed. Destroyed Casamant, he's doing a lot of damage here against us. More flooding there on the light cruiser. Wait, I do need to have a look at you. So, Yeah, 46 knot, 46.5 knots. We are out of their range there. You've got 6-inch guns. You are minimum buckets. Actually, that's a bit stupid. Right, but that being said, you're going to go down now. And then we can shift fire towards, I guess, this guy, because we're going to be able to fire more of a broadside on him. Unless that guy barely stays afloat at 0.9% buoyancy. Which, of course, the AI does have a tendency to do, but it's still always pretty annoying. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now. He's going to recover from that, isn't he? And now he has launched tops. How can he... That's really annoying. Okay. Hard turn to the right here. We want to get out of the way. Or to the left, actually, and try to get in front of the battleship there. Might not be the worst idea, too. These guys are reloading. Yeah, okay, you know what? We're going to turn to the right. Then we're going to try to do a drive-by here on this guy. Because he's fired after the destroyer. Which to me means that he's very likely to... He's very likely to still be reloading. We're losing a lot of our torpedoes here. That's not good. More fire on him. So I'm thinking whether our 6-inch guns should start to shoot at this guy. While our 9-inch guns blaze away at the Tony. The most important thing here is not suffering any critical damage and not suffering any torpedo hits. Okay, let's do turn inwards. Now, since the destroyers are not emitting smoke, I'm going to start firing the secondary guns on him. Yes, nice, good. Okay, all of the guns are going to go on you. You're halfway reloaded. You're a little bit less than halfway reloaded. Okay, objectively, you're actually the larger danger. So, main guns on you, secondary guns on you. That's going to be it. And turn towards the battleship. Damage to the torpedo tubes. That's not great. If we're losing all of our torpedo tubes, we are losing all capabilities of engaging the enemy battleship. Ooh, good hit there. That's nice. That's huge. We could have probably done with a little bit less ammo, actually. Didn't think of that. Yeah, they're 8-inch guns, though. Okay, you're actually falling behind a little bit, so we're going to start firing completely on this destroyer. Because we need to bring him down before he is going to be able to launch some torpedoes. And I think we've got the other one carried away a little bit, so that's nice. Destroy Casamant, destroy torpedo. Not good, not good at all. On the other hand, our main target at this moment is that destroyer. And he does need to go down. He does need to go down quick, actually. We are being shattered by their 8-inch guns. You do not have torpedo tubes on both sides or anything like that, right? Come on, go down. Go down, you must go down. I don't want to do the mistake Stealth did in his last run of turning into an enemy destroyer, only to have it sink you. Right, you're actually far enough away that I'm not too concerned about you. We're actually going to start firing on the enemy battleship here with auto-pick guns. Ouch, ouch, ouch. In the hope of causing some damage towards his steering or his engine. Something like that. We are 2.8 kilometers away. I don't think that's enough to actually start our torpedo run. Rudder damage! Rudder damage is incredibly important here. And he's actually pretty slow to begin with. If the rudder damage stays, oh, that's so... I mean, I just mentioned that and immediately the first salvo is causing rudder damage. I want to believe that we asked our gunners to actually target that. There we go. first salvos are underwater. We're going to turn you off then and going to turn back in. Does he... has he... no, now his rudder is repaired there. Cheater. You're repairing your rudder right as we're sending some torpedoes in the water. Sure you're going to do that. Damage to their main guns, that's good. Let's go a little bit faster here. I don't think they have technically spotted our torpedoes yet. And we are going to score at least 3 hits here, I think. Yeah, 3 hits it is. How much damage did you take? Flooding pretty much across the entire cross section here. I'm going to try to turn away now. What's your speed? 17 knots. Your speed is going to drop, so I don't think we want to launch torpedoes immediately. But I would like to take him out. His fire is still incredibly dangerous towards us. Yeah, let's turn towards him. By the way, how fast is that destroyer? 34 knots. He can catch up pretty easily. Okay, secondary guns are going to start firing on him. I think it's a good idea to try to stay behind this battleship, because most of his guns are forward firing. And he's losing so much speed and such. That at least is nice. We might sink him. We might sink him just like that. With 3 torpedoes. He's gonna go down, isn't he? Yes! He actually went down. I did not expect that. Right, start firing on you guy. On this guy. With pretty much everything that we've got. You know what? We might actually launch torpedoes at you too. To just drive you away, make it a little bit less likely that you are going to be able to attack us. You've got almost reloaded yours. You've detected our torpedoes, so that does give us a good chance to move a little bit away here while still firing on you. That's good. He's not going to be hit by these torpedoes, and that's not the plan. The plan is to drive him away. Make it impossible for him to launch at a short distance against us. And now he can launch on a very perpendicular setting here. But that should enable us to turn away a little bit more easily. Right, see, he's coming in again. Now he has launched. We're going to do a very sharp turn. And yes, that is a fairly... well, it's not it's a mid-sized turning circle. But due to our comparatively high speed, his intercept point is going to be somewhere over here, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly where his torpedoes are spreading. That's very far away. So, due to that thing... and there we go. Come on, come on. No, not quite. But notice how all of our guns are trained on him the entire time. And this really should do it for him, shouldn't it? Yeah. Nice! 75% structural integrity. I do actually need to check the cost of this ship. I didn't note that down. So I think I needed the yes button here. It's slightly mislabeled to me. So 63.8 million. And no torpedo hits, no structural integrity. Everything should be fine, I think. So we are getting all of the bonus points that we can get. And I think that must actually put us in first position. Even if Brother... well, the big question is, did Brother cause a lot of explosions? That is to be seen. Do watch his video. Do watch Stelz's and Spartan Lead 423's video as well. And I hope you enjoyed the series. Do let us know what you think and what your considerations for this would be. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye, guys.